Hi, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your Wood Dragon Lunar New Year reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me out tremendously, and it gets this channel seen by the YouTube algorithm. So, thank you so very much for doing so. So, let's see what the tarot has to say. Angels and spirit guides show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Okay. So it's very interesting about this year is that this lunar year is that it's not easy for anybody. And I don't want you to think, oh no, I'm turning this off. That's it. It's terrible. It's not terrible. It's an intense year. It's a dragon year. You don't think of dragons and think, ooh, cute kitty cat, like type of thing. They're not. They're intense beings. So it would make sense that it brings forward an intense year. We have the King of Cups reversed. Now we're represented by the cups in the minor arcana. So being aware that we can have a tendency during this time to get in our own way and to really have our emotions just be super high and be super intense, that's going to be important for us to know because it's going to keep us from the place that we want to be. Okay. So just being aware of that during this time and knowing that you're not the only sign, right? You're not the only sign that has a tendency during this lunar year to get in our own ways. We all have that tendency, and we just need to kind of step out of our egos and into our hearts. And that's going to be one of the hardest things because you never hear somebody, well, you don't hear, ancient stories about dragons that were super kind and super lovely, right? They're all super intense. Now, I don't know Eastern dragon stories as well as I know Western dragon stories, but in the West, when you hear about dragons, you hear about them hoarding their gold, and stealing maidens from villages, which always confused me because what the heck does a dragon need with a maiden? And what the heck does a dragon need with gold? It doesn't. But what a dragon does want is what somebody else views as being super valuable. They will take what is most valuable from you. So this is going to be a time where we look out at the world and we say, what is the most valuable thing? How can I get it? How can I get it? How can I have this? Instead of saying, what is sacredly important to me? And that's going to be the really important thing for us during this time here, Scorpio, is to say, what is sacredly important to me? We have the Seven of Pentacles. We're going to need to be patient. Are we going to want to be patient? Absolutely not. We are not going to want to be patient at all, but we are going to need to be patient. The Empress is coming through. Prosperity, success, bounty, abundance. We're also super connected with the sacred feminine energy. So being aware of this during this time is going to be very important. This is about us birthing forward our creativity, letting our energy guide and connect and seeing where our creativity takes us with the King of Cups reversed. The King of Cups, again, represents us in the minor arcana, right? This is also water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. So if you have this energy in your chart, other than a sun sign, right, of Scorpio, but if you have this energy in your chart, know that this can be tripping you up in one way or another. So just being aware of this, note that emotions can come through very powerfully, but we can also have the idea that emotions are weakness. Instead of truly embracing my feelings, I feel held back by them. So acknowledging this can be super important during this time to say, in order for me to move forward and create and cultivate what I want and need for my life now and forevermore, I'm going to need to step into my heart more and more and more. And it's going to need to guide me forward. We're going to see with the Wheel of Fortune reversed that there's a huge change coming. And we can see this astrologically speaking with this time. It brings a lot of change forward. But it's not, excuse me. Oh, I apologize. It's not going to be as quickly as we think it is. There's almost a sense here for us, Scorpio, of like, hurry up and wait. So being mindful about that is going to be a very big deal. With the Fool, we're going to see that this year has us leaping hurdles. It has us moving forward in ways that we hadn't imagined we could be. And we're going to be connecting with that energy more and more. We're going to be saying, well, what about? And what if? And how come I'm not? And, we're going to be taking a chance on ourselves. There's a foolhardiness to a dragon year because we're dragons, right? We're in this dragon year. And a dragon symbolizes power, nobleness, honor, luck, and success, right? All great things. But a dragon year epitomizes activity and reaction. So we're going to be very reactionary and always moving, always have to go, always have to go. And that's how everybody is. So it can be exhausting. It can be an exhausting year. So just be mindful about this, that we're actually going to kind of have to combat this energy of like next, 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 to say, okay, put the brakes on, slow it down. What's sacredly important to me? And we seldom ever ask ourselves, what's sacredly important to me? It's going to be important. It is important to say, what does my soul seek? What does my soul desire? Where does my soul need to be? And that's going to open up a door we didn't know we needed opened. Now it moves us to our energy from spirit. Oh, and if you're interested in entering to receive a free reading, put a heart in the comment box below. A person will be chosen at random and announced on the 1st of March. So good luck to everyone. Keep your eyes open for the video that will be announcing the winner. And do not be scammed by anybody contacting you in the comment box. It will not be me. And if you're interested in purchasing a private reading, a private personalized meditation, or a healing, check out my website, daneharttarot.com. So our energy here is fairy tales. That's what spirit wants us to connect with. Now, fairy tales is reverse, meaning that we are forgetting the stories that inspired us when we were little, when the world was magical, when we would say things like, oh, it was magic, and we meant it with every fiber of our being. It is time to connect with our fairy tales again, Scorpio. We are the sign that is most connected with the spirit realm, right? The veil between the earthly world and the spirit world is thin for a Scorpio. And I think that is the most beautiful thing. To connect with fairy tales is to connect with us. To say there's truth in dreams. There's truth in stories. There's meaning here. And to see ourselves moving forward in it. But we need to reconnect with the stories that shaped us when we were small, when they had such impact on our hearts. Reread the fairy tales that you loved when you were little, or just the stories that you loved when you were little, and see where that spark is that ignited you, that moved you forward, that inspired you, because it's coming forward again, or it wants to come forward again. Our chakra energy, angels and spirit guides show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. Here, this is inspiration. Now, this is the sacral chakra, and this is reversed. So we're having a blockage around being inspired, which is interesting that the Empress comes forward, because the Empress is all about inspiration and creation. So here, we need to embrace our sacral chakra, to step into that energy and say, how am I cultivating this? How am I being inspired? How am I moving things forward? How am I letting the whimsy, be a part of me? It's our sensual energy. It's our creativity. It's what makes humans so beautifully human. It's that inspiration and that beauty. The blockage here is kind of around our own humanity, and it's a need to connect with that, to get out of our egos, to get out of the realm of perfection, and connect with our creative energy, our creative force. It moves us then to our energy to be mindful of during this time. Angels and spirit guides show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. We have two. We have the Hangman and the Four of Wands. Now, the Hangman is seeing things differently. We're doubting. We're on the road of enlightenment, and we're doubting what we're seeing and how we're moving forward and what we're questioning. Excuse me. And it moves us to the Four of Wands reverse, which is like, be mindful of also doubting our commitments, of what we see as being super important to us, sacredly important to us. And how do we move forward in that energy? How do we embrace what it is that we love? Or how do we devote ourselves to what is important to us? And I just need a sip of water. So give me one moment. All right. Thank you. Now, it's very interesting because I didn't know this, but in the elemental, element of a Chinese, of the Lunar New Year, of the Chinese New Year, right? Wood is the element that wood fuels the element of fire. So it's seen as an aid to fire. And this amplifies the quality of the dragon. So just being aware that you would think a wood dragon, you're like, okay, wood, cool, like forest, that's great. But it feeds the fire of the dragon. So this is a very intense year. Remember, it is activity, it is reactionary. we're going to have an eye for quality during this time. Also, remember, dragons hoard gold. Dragons take what is most beautiful. But we're going to also have an eye for what everybody else thinks is beautiful and perfect and what we should be. So we can be thinking, oh wow, I've been comparing myself to people a lot lately. Well, it can be even more magnified during this time. So we need to step out of the ego, or we need to step out of the idea of what others think is perfection or beauty, and step into the idea of the self and the connection with the self. That's going to be super important. We're crowned by patience. This year isn't going to be about fast moving, fast moving, fast moving. It is, because it is a dragon year. But we're going to need to kind of go against that energy and embrace the patience with ourselves, slow things down, connect, wait. It's going to be going against the everything, the everything of a dragon year, which is action and reaction and faster is better, and all of that. But this year we're going to look at not only how do I embrace my power, how do I do what is good for me and those around me, but also how do I slay the demons, that like the dragons that were within me, that held me back, that kept me small. We're going to have 7 things that we look at differently during this time, but we have to be patient with them. And we can think, oh, only 7 things in a year, or we could be thinking 70 things in a year. That's a heck of a lot, which is what I'm thinking. But there's going to be 7 things, 7 roadblocks that we have had in our life that we are going to find we overcome during this year and during this time. And we start to see ourselves, and we start to connect with ourselves, and we start to say, okay, I need this, and I want that, and I'm moving forward this way, and this is where my soul needs to be. And then we're going to start creating and cultivating. We're going to move forward, and we need to move forward in very healing energy. And we're going to kind of flip flop between truly embracing our healing energy and saying, no, I'm okay. I'm just going to power forward. So really looking at that with the Empress and saying, I'm embracing the healing of my heart. I'm moving forward in what I love. I am releasing myself from all doubts and fears and negativities, hurts and pains that have defined me before. And I'm standing in my power, and I'm standing in where I need to be for me. It will be very easy to get caught up in what everybody else wants us to be, especially with lower energy vibrational days or weeks or months, we all have them. So just knowing that the Empress is there to say, I'm holding myself to a higher standard. I want to move things forward in a way that feeds my soul, that moves me forward as a powerful creative entity that changes the shape of the world that I'm standing on. And I know that sounds like, okay, that's a small feat, but it is going to be a beautiful feat for us. It doesn't mean we have to do things huge, right? You make one person smile, that's changing the shape of the world. And we forget that. We always think bigger is better. And we will have that tendency during this dragon year to be like, bigger is better, bigger is better. But we are ending no, we are starting a new 20-year cycle. And this is in feng shui, a new 20-year feng shui cycle. It will last till 2044. And this is dominated by the element of fire and the number 9. So 9 is related to dragons, it's related to phoenixes. 9 is an auspicious, significant number that signifies the completion of luck. So there's going to be this luck around the completion of things, around moving things forward. We're going to see that with the Empress. There's luck around moving things forward to where we need to be, to how we need them, to what we are desiring within our lives. We're going to see that we can really start to build, and we're really building something grand for our future, for ourselves, for what we desire within our lives. But our emotions can also mean that as we're building it, we're also stomping it down. We're trying to trample it. We're trying to get rid of things that our soul is telling us, but I need to create this. I need this to move forward. So be mindful of that push and pull during this time, because we do have the King of Cups energy reversed, where we're drowned by emotions. We feel everybody else's emotions. We are overwhelmed. We're not healing. We're actually, burning the candle at both ends and doing ourselves a huge disservice, which isn't letting us channel our own creative energy. Bathing ourselves in green light is going to be fantastic for us. Not only does it connect us with the heart chakra, but it connects us with the healing of the earth. So just being aware of this during this time. Also, it is the liver energy is green. So we can also start to see what we're angry about, what we're afraid of, what has held us back. So just being aware of this during this time is going to be super important. We're going to have a rebellion against sacred masculine energy for one reason or another. Now, it doesn't matter If we don't know in this life, it could be in a past life where we have certain issues around this energy. It is going to be coming up during this time. So being aware of this and knowing that this time for us is also about breaking cycles, breaking chains, and finding new power forward, that's going to be astoundingly liberating. We can do the meditation where we just take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you, and then chanting sacred masculine, sacred masculine, sacred masculine, and seeing what comes up. Because you're going to see the sacred masculine energy moves you forward. But we have to conquer what is holding us back, what is keeping us small, what is having us doubt ourselves. So being aware of this is super important. Being aware of this is super important during this time. Things are going to be changing, but we have to be patient because it's not going to be changing as fast as we want it to. We're going to see ourselves entering into a new season of our existence. But again, it's not as quickly as we want it to. Things are changing. They're also feeling overwhelming. We're doubting. We're fearing. This is a time, we have 3 major arcana cards, 1 court card, and just 1 normal tarot card, and 5 cards, which isn't, a heck of a lot. We have the major arcana hitting hard. This year is going to be powerful for us, even though it's not going to be powerful in the way that we think it is. Everybody else has had questions around money. Okay, money is the main focus. Here, it's patience. You have to be patient. If you are not patient with your money, Scorpio, you will find that things get tripped up, things get mucked up, and you don't want that. So just being aware of this is going to be super important during this time. You have to be patient. There is a new season coming. It's not coming as quickly as you want it to, and that's okay. Note that at the end of this 20-year cycle, we are completing a 180-year cycle, so we can really feel the energy shift during this time. It is going to be significant. It is going to be powerful. This is also going to be a time with the Fool where we're seeing ourselves wanting to move forward. Now we can want to move forward quite significantly, quite powerfully, break down barriers, and just go for it. But there's also a sense here of, I need to try, I need to see. We can also be finding a lot of our inspiration during this dragon year because there's a bravado to us. There's a gumption to us. There's a sense of I can do this to us. That's going to be very important. And that is very important. So just knowing that during this time that things are going to be moving slower than we want them to. We can have a tendency to self-sabotage, yes, but we also have a tendency to bring forward a heck of a lot of blessings, a heck of a lot of beautiful blessings into our world. It's time to jump. It's time to go after what we want. It's time to go after what we need. It's time to look at things and say, I've always been afraid of making a fool out of myself. Now I don't care. Now I don't care what everybody else thinks. It's time to shine. And it's time to let me shine. And we're going to see those areas in our lives where we were hiding away, where we were hoarding away our gifts, where we were hiding ourselves away. It's there's no more of this. There's no more of this. So you can find that you keep your treasures, right? Keep what is sacredly beautiful to you. But you can find that you're letting go of a lot that isn't. It's only keep the quality of things. And it doesn't mean that everybody has to know the labels and be ooh, ah, over what you keep, but keep the quality of things. It's not the quantity anymore. It's going to be the quality. And it's time to leap. It's time to have faith in ourselves. It's time to go after what we dream and what we want and what we're looking for and what we're searching and what our soul needs. Now we're starting to see ourselves. We're starting to hear ourselves and we're starting to be inspired. And this dragon year gives us courage and determination and focus and insight to say, yes, I'm going for it in a very, very big way. But also know that we can go for it in a big way and sabotage ourselves. So we have to be patient, we have to be mindful, and we have to be calm. All right. So our subconscious spirit message is devoted reversed. We can be questioning what we're devoted to. We can be questioning what we want, how we want to move forward, what we need, what we're searching for in our lives. So being aware of that is going to be a very important thing for us. Our subconscious chakra message is power, personal power. This is the solar plexus chakra. We are embracing our gut. We are listening to our gut. Be mindful of how you're feeding yourself, the food that's charging you, and move forward in your personal power, in your success. Listen to your body because it's going to be talking to you in the most beautiful of ways. But moving in your personal power, moving in your tenacity, your beauty, your brilliance, next level. You are embracing the next level during this time. our subconscious energy to be mindful of is Cernunnos reversed. So Cernunnos is the devil card. Being mindful of the devil is just that's good common sense right there. It's be mindful of our addictions, our doubts, our fears, our chaoses. Also be mindful that every action, be it positive or negative, has a reaction. And here we're going to see that during this time, that all our actions have reactions to them, be them positive or negative. And this is also going to be a time where we can want to indulge in the feelings of things. And spirits like be mindful about that, because that can lead us down a path that has consequences we hadn't expected. Right? So just being aware of this. But also be mindful, because there's an energy around the dragon that is like, it can be like a big better, right? It can be like, go big or go home type of energy. So just be mindful around that as well, where we almost feel like we have something to prove. You have nothing to prove to anybody. Live a good life and you've won. Our subconscious tarot message is the Hierophant reverse. Now this is Taurus energy, time frame of April 20th to May 20th. We can be looking at things and saying, what am I connected to? Now, the Hierophant is also the major arcana marriage card. So do be aware of this during this time, that we can really be questioning our connections with things, our devotions. What do I want? What do I need? And that's normal in life. We don't have to take it to extremes, but we just need to know that it's going to come forward. With the Hierophant as well. The Hierophant in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck is the Pope. And the Pope told kings what to do in medieval times. So we're going to be looking at things and saying, okay, what is the power? Like, we can be questioning the power that is around us and the power dynamic. But we could also be questioning our traditions, how we move forward in things, where we're going, what we want. And there can be a question mark around us. Be patient with yourself. Go slow. We're going to want to do things very, very, very quickly. Go slow and let those questions come over you and see your emotional response to them. Also, this is going to be a time where you question your worth, but you start to find your worth as well. Okay. All right, Scorpio. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power, intensity, and beauty of this Lunar New Year and of ourselves. And please note that this meditation and healing will be accompanied by a loud sound. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Scorpio. May blessings and prosperity always be with you. I love you all. God bless. Bye.